I like to tease you, build it up, have you sort of begging sort of thing. Guys, my best friend is on Love is Blind UK and we're going to talk about it. Yes, guys, I've been away for a while, but the reality TV recaps are back. And what better way to get back into it than when it still feels crazy to say. But yeah, my best friend Joseph, you've seen him here a few times on this channel. He is on Love is Blind UK and I'm going to be reviewing it. So let's go on this journey together, okay? Now, before I get into it, I just want to let you know he is my friend. So there's things I do know about his journey, but this still remains a spoiler-free channel, and I take spoilers very seriously. I don't believe in them, so my reviews are going to be coming from a place as if I'm just watching it, not knowing his journey, all the other couples. I'm just like, the minute I watched the show, I wrote down my notes. I may know some of them now and everything like that, but these are very unbiased, unspoiler takes, if that makes sense. But yes, guys, I am so excited. This is a great season. Love is Blind UK, you put your into that. Let's get into it. Okay, so first we meet Jack from Cornwall. Love his personality. You can definitely tell he's a people's person. And we see his first date and it's with Faye. And I'm enjoying their chemistry. It's very like yin and yang, which is always like nice to meet. That whole like opposites attract type vibe. And yeah, I'd say Jack gives like golden retriever energy. And normally golden retriever is like calm and sweet and just like quiet, but just very loving, I guess. But he's also very like wild and bubbly at the same time, which dogs can be, I guess. Even, I'm not calling him dog. Okay, let's move on. But yeah, on his date with Faye, we see him end it saying love you, bye. I mean, that just gives us an insight into the kind of guy he's going to be on this show, like live wire, but I'm enjoying it. I enjoy the chaos. And we then, after Faye, see him on his date with Kira. And again, another good date. It seems like him and Kira do have good chemistry. I'll be honest, whilst watching it, I felt a bit giddy, like watching their connection building with him and Kira on that date. But even, I don't know, is it just me? I feel like Jack is just a good date. I feel like he could have good chemistry with anyone. Like you could see him talking to all and be like, yeah, they're meant to be. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of vibe. And at this point, it's seeming like he likes Kira the most. Told her to, he loved her, this guy. But yeah, it seemed like Kira is his number one connection at this point. Okay, so then we get to know Kira a bit more and we see, you know, she likes all the finer things in life. She does go on to say she was cheated on in all her previous relationships. And I'm not judging, but just could it be that she was focusing on the wrong things in these relationships, like getting into them because they had what she wanted financially, but all the other things that would lead a man to remain loyal weren't there, potentially? So something to look into, but maybe this whole process will do that for her. So then we see her date with AJ. And they too seem to be hitting it off. So already we have our first messy triangle. And their lifestyles, yeah, they seem to align. They seem to be getting on. And on paper, they seem to make a lot of sense. But I'm thinking, why do I get the feeling she may end up with Jack? Even though her and AJ seem to make more sense. So far, I am enjoying Faye and Jack together as well. But yeah, so then when we're in the women's quarters, we see Faye and Kira both realize that they both like Jack. And I don't know, guys, comment below. Is it just me or did you see the composition kick in Kira's eyes? Like, okay, go time. So then we meet Chevanique and we see her again with all the girls. She's leading a prayer circle. I'm enjoying her energy, just like Jack, you can tell. This girl is good on dates. She knows how to flirt, good voice, good vibe, good energy. And then we see her on a date with my friend Joseph. Okay, guys. Some things I don't know if I'll even be able to speak. Like just hearing him talk about certain things, I'm like, but yeah, they seem to be getting on. They seem to be vibing, throwing one-liners at each other back and forth. Like it's, you know, good first date. Guys, okay. This is such a unique experience. When can you just sit and watch your friend on a date? This is the weirdest thing. Yeah, anyway. Okay, guys. insider tea here. It's not even tea. But we see him ask her how she'd describe herself in 3 words. And when I saw that on the screen, when I tell you, I screamed because it's like this. It's not a joke, inside a joke, but it's this thing like where I would always tell him whenever I go on dates, that's one of the questions I always ask a guy, just to see how he views himself. And then after every date, he'd ask, okay, did you ask that question? How he describes himself in 3 words? And we discuss it. I'd say what I think about the 3 answers he gave and everything like that. So to see him doing it on the show, I was like, I'm trying to remember if he even told me he did that. I can't even remember. He may have, but I still screamed nonetheless when I saw that take place. But yeah, they connect on being Christian, and I know like Joseph and his faith, that's very important to him and like a non-negotiable, I'd say. And then we see him on his date with Francesca. They seem to hit it off as well. Find out they're from the same area. Big up Lewisham. I'm not from Lewisham. I grew up near there. Southeast London though, big up. But yeah, very cute moment. You know, she's saying she's seen her parents. They've been married for 35 years and she wants that same like connection that they have. My parents have also been married for next month. 35 years, shout out you guys. I'm 34 years of age, born 9 months after their wedding. Do with that what you will. But yeah, back to Joseph and Francesca. He checks if she is religious, like asks, like, you know, what do you believe in? And yeah, she says she's Catholic, grew up in the Catholic faith, has her relationship with God, may not necessarily go to church as often. But yeah, I'd say similar actually. Random tangent. I'd lean more towards Christian, I'd say, but I wouldn't necessarily pinpoint down. I'm curious actually, everybody else comment below how you feel, but yeah, I just say I believe in God, have a relationship with him, that's my guy, talk to him all the time, and that's what it is. But yeah, enough about me. One thing I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of just hearing all these different conversations on this show, on this season, it feels like they all truly do want marriage, whereas other times it felt more like, yeah, this is fun, why not, let's do it type thing. Whereas here I feel like there's even more people that are in it for marriage. Comment below your thoughts. So yeah, we meet Sophie. Can I first of all just say, I love the Manchester accent. She's from Manchester. Anytime I meet anyone from Manchester, first of all, good vibes always, but there's something about their accent that just makes you like them more. I don't know, comment below. We see her on her date with Taylor and they seem to be hitting it off. Again, a great fit. Like casting directors, you did a good job this season, okay? Not just because my friend's on it. So yeah, so they get talking about food. Sophie and Taylor, they get talking about food. Taylor says he's a big foodie. His go-to dish to make is spag bowl. So I judge when it comes to food. I do love a spag bowl as well, but I don't know if that's what I'd lead with, saying I'm a foodie. Sophie goes on to talk about her love for jacket potatoes. Listen, no jacket potato slander will be tolerated on this channel. One of the most diverse meals. Had it today, actually. All right, chili con carne jacket potato. Shout out. Also, side note, what gets me every time people come on the show and they'll be like, you know, I'm 30 years of age, now is the time, I'm way past due to get married, like I'm getting on, and I'm sat there at 34 like, oh. But yeah, major side note. So we see Kira and AJ on another date. Again, they seem so well suited. It just seems to make all the sense. When I'm watching it, I'm like, oh god, is there gonna be a plot twist in at some moment or something like that? That's all I keep thinking, because it seems too easy, shall I say. Maybe I'm scorned from watching too much reality TV. So then after her date with AJ, we see her on her date with Jack. This is Kira, by the way, and they're getting very hot and heavy. They have a very like fun, flirty energy together. She seems to like him, but again, part of me is thinking, does she truly like him, or is part of what's leading that, even if subconsciously it's that competition, knowing Faye wants him too? Because let's be honest, sometimes a man can seem more attractive when other people do want him. So then we see Jack and Faye together, And I really do feel like Faye brings out Jack's softer side. Like I said before, like chaos, wild, crazy, good in the best possible way ever. But she brings out this softer side in him, which is really nice to see. And he's telling her, he had a dream about her and all of this. I really like them together, but Kira makes me nervous. But I'm rooting for Jack and Faye, I'd say. I feel like Kira is more suited to AJ. And then we see Francesca and Joseph on another day, and they're opening up about their insecurities, and they really seem to like reassure each other well. And they both align on, not wanting to argue or like shout or let it get contentious, but actually communicate well, which I think is really important to have in a relationship. I remember quite early, was it that early on? Not that early on, but at some point in my relationship with my now boyfriend, guys, have I been on his okay, no, I've made a vlog since having a boyfriend, but I haven't. When I was last doing these reviews, I was single, so if you only come for the reviews, breaking news, I have a boyfriend. But no, we had a conversation somewhat early on in our relationship, like we're never gonna like speak to hurt each other. If ever we have a disagreement, our main and key goal is to just understand each other and always come at things with love, and he's really good at doing that as well. I'm going to stop talking about that before I get emotional. But yes, so they're aligned on their communication styles and how they want to deal with disagreements, which was nice to see. We then see Joseph on his date with Chevanique, and she is honestly, I said it before, a natural flirt. Like, she is good at, she is true to this and not new to this. I was watching it like, I could learn a thing or two. We see Francesca in the women's quarter. She says Joseph is her number one, but she doesn't know who else is actually interested in him. That would get to me. Like, you're dating someone and you're like, I really like them. Before I get more invested, like, who else likes them? I want to know what the competition is. Like, the whole thing just blows my mind. Like, shout out to all these people. It's not an easy experience to go through, and I feel like sometimes, maybe I've been guilty of it in the past, we can be quite harsh on these people and how they handle certain situations, but it's not your everyday situation that they're in or going through, if that makes sense. We see Sophie and Taylor, they're in the pods and they're talking about their turn-ons. And I don't know if it's because they're talking about it so matter-of-fact, made it so funny to me. Also, like, Taylor's accent, like he said, I like to tease you, build it up, have you sort of begging sort of thing. But yeah, jokes aside, like I said, they are so well suited. And I think part of me, I don't know if I even recapped season 2 of Love is Blind UK. I don't think I did. Can't remember. But Love is Blind UK season 2, or was it 1? Who knows? But I loved Jed and Bada, and I was so gutted when they didn't make it. So this is like my Jed and Bada 2.0. So I'm rooting for them hard. Like, please, don't let me down. So then we see Sierra and AJ. They're on another date. They're bonding over their love for Formula One. Sierra? I keep calling her Sierra. I'm so sorry. I think it's because of how it's spelled. We see Kira and AJ. So yeah, we see Kira and AJ on another day, and they're bonding over their love for Formula One. I'm gonna need Kira to lock in on AJ and just leave Jack for Faye, because her and AJ, again, they seem so well suited. But yeah, AJ asks her about her connection with Jack, and she reassures him and he's at ease. But did she really, essentially? Because she says, yeah, we have a vibe and you're high on my list. But she didn't actually tell AJ you're number one. So it was kind of like, in that moment, she said enough so he can pick and hear what he wants to hear without having to give that definitive answer. Which some would argue, is it playing a game? But again, can we be mad at it? Like, if you have two connections and it's still early on, you don't want to end things with one or the other, can you be mad at her, like, just saying enough to keep him, but still go and explore her connection with Jack as well? Like, she didn't outright say, yes, you're my number one. She was more like, we have a vibe and you're up there. And AJ heard, I'm number one, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the end of episode 1. On to episode 2. Hopefully you guys can't hear that noise in the background. But yes, episode 2, we meet Yasmin. She's on a date with Jordan. And I do feel like he brings her out of her shell. Like, he seems so lovely as well. And I feel like the energy coming out of her when she's on her date with him. But she's also got this like calm aura to her as well. So yeah, I'm enjoying them together. We see Kira and AJ go on another date. And AJ lets him know she's the only one for him. She doesn't really say it back. And we even see him say he didn't get the reassurance that he needed. So then we see Taylor and Sophie on another date. And Taylor's opening up about his mum who passed away. And in that moment, you could just tell that Sophie had created, even like with a wall up between them, like such a safe space for him to be able to talk about that. And you just look at them and think they are each other's person. Like, you're really seeing this strong connection being formed. Please don't be another Jed and Barda. So then we get to Joseph and Francesca, and they're talking about intimacy. She is me and I am her. She's getting very shy when it's time to talk about these things. And I'm someone, I don't know about her, but I'm someone, I need time to be able to open up like that and talk about those sort of things. I'm a shy person when it comes to that. I'm like that. But the right person, you can be a lot more open. On the flip side, we then see Joseph and Chevanique talking about intimacy and everything. Guys, all I'm gonna say on this, I was very shy watching this. I didn't take notes on this part. I don't think you should hear your friend talking like this. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Moving swiftly on. So we see Faye and Jack on another date and they're having a really good time. Like, I'm like, this is it. This is giving endgame. But he still seems to feel like, he still feels like Kira is his number one, which is making me so nervous, guys. But then we see him on his date with Kira and he's asking her, what sort of cheese do you like? Forgetting she's a vegan. She is not happy about this. Definitely an awkward moment. So then we see Yasmin and Jordan again, and they're having the tough conversations. He's asking her, the fact that you haven't been in a relationship before, will this hinder you when it comes to marriage? And, her answer puts him at ease. And then she's, teaching him Arabic because she's part Lebanese Egyptian. And she's telling him about, the sound they make at weddings, which we do too in Uganda. Quick. Sorry, no, my dad's sleeping. I can't. Moving swiftly on. They are becoming one of my favourite couples, I must say. Like, this is what, episode 2? Loving them. And speaking of faves, we then see Taylor and Sophie. Taylor gives Sophie his necklace, which he got made in honour of his mum to like wear for the that part of the experience, like look after it for him during that part of the experience, which I actually found really sweet. And sometimes when they do this, I'm not a fan of it because I don't know, it feels forced sometimes, whereas with these two, they're giving me endgame, guys. In this episode, I'm like, yeah, I'm rooting for them. Please don't be another Jed and Barda, please. We meet Ryan. He's very spiritual. Doesn't want his kids to go to school. He wants them out of school to learn about farming and stuff. Doesn't want to date someone who works in a hospital. Doesn't want to live in the UK all year round. I'm thinking, who is suited for this guy? In walks Cuba. Yeah, and they both seem to be quite aligned on their views, beliefs, everything. I'm like, damn. Maybe I should have come to the Love is Blind experts back in the day when I was struggling, but I'm good now. But yeah, they seem to be hitting it out the park, I can't lie. So then we see Joseph opening up to Francesca, which I'm sure was a longer conversation about growing up and not getting to see the love within his household. And definitely I felt it got me very emotional watching. I've had this conversation with him before, and to see him being able to have that with Francesca, I was like, wow, she must have clearly created such a warm and like safe environment for him to feel able to be able to talk about it in depth like that. So that was a hard moment in a way to watch, but still beautiful at the same time. That's all I'll say on that. Flip side, we now are in the women's quarters, and Francesca finds out that Chevanique is also getting to know Joseph. Yikes. So then we see Yasmin and Jordan on another day, and she opens up to him about having vitiligo and like what it was like growing up with it and how she used to cover it up with makeup, and she gets emotional. His response is so perfect. Even the smallest thing of when he ends the conversation and he says, "Talk to you later, beautiful." Like, my heart. I really do like these two. And yeah, I feel like that moment, I'm going to hold it together. That moment, I think I connected with so much because it was so small, but it reminded me of the reason why I fell in love with my boyfriend and why I continue to fall in love with him. Yeah, the right person speaks life into you, and they create a safe space where not only do you feel accepted, you truly, fully become and blossom into your true self. And I saw that moment between the two of them. I think that's what makes me fall in love with them so much as a couple. Did not think I'd be crying. It's episode 2 only. Yeah, you grow more into yourself and become the person you were just always meant to be. And it's beautiful when you see the right person who can bring that out in you, and just seeing that with them, like in that moment, I'm like, I really, really, really like these two a lot. Wow. So then we see Taylor and Sophie, and he reads her a letter about their journey and proposes. Of course she says yes. Of course I'm elated. I'm giddy watching this. Like, I really like these two and think they're so well suited. So then we see Faye and Jack, and he's like, Faye's now his number one. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. And he's written her a lovely letter. Kira is going to be fuming because he said he'd write her one. He didn't. That's literally what I'm thinking when he's reading it out. But yeah, it's such a beautiful moment. Faye gets emotional and she's like, nobody's ever shown up for me like this before. Guys, watching Love is Blind, comment below if you feel the same way. Watching Love is Blind when you're in love is like a whole different experience, because I feel like I'm remembering those stages of, like, I'll see parallels with my relationship and little things that made me get there in my own relationship, and just that remind me of my partner, and just, yeah, it gets me a little emotional. But yeah, it makes it such a beautiful experience. Like, before I loved it already because I love all things to do with dating. I love, but I love it even more now that I'm in it, if that makes sense. I think that's why I'm getting so emotional throughout every single episode. Let's keep it pushing. But yes, we then go on to Sophie and Taylor meeting for the first time. They do their big reveal. I knew they'd be happy with what they see. You can tell they're very attracted to each other. You feel that joy just through the screen. I was sat there cheesing at the screen, just like, yeah, man. So then we see Kira and Jack going on a date. Now, Jack is going in there to end things. I think when he starts talking, Kira can tell this. So then it's a race of who can end things first. So it's very, like, messy as to who ended things. Jack did. But in the midst of all that, calls Faye Fran by mistake. Honest mistake, honestly. Awkward though, but like, there's so many names flowing about that you're not used to normally. Fran, Faye, similar names, like, honest mistake, but Kira makes a big deal out of that. But yeah, comment below your thoughts. I don't think Kira was going in there to end things like she says she was. I think she just says that to save face. Do I think Jack was her number one and it was definitely who she wanted? I don't think that either. I think maybe she was a bit torn between AJ and Jack, maybe leaning towards AJ, of course, but liked having Jack there. But I truly don't think she was going in, regardless, I don't think she was going in there to end things with him in that moment. But yeah, she goes to the women's quarters, relays what went down completely different, and says, you know, she just ended things with Jack. You know, she blurts out she was his number one. He was calling girls the wrong name. Like, just, it's giving low-key villain of the season. But you need that, don't you, on a show? It's fun TV. It's so hard this time round to talk about it like they're just characters when I know some of these people. But looking at it how I would watch it before I knew anyone on it or anything, like, it's fun to watch at the end of the day. Episode 3, we see AJ and Kira on a date, and she's telling him, she called things off with Jack, which is not what happened, but okay. But yeah, no, AJ seems super happy about it. We then go on to my faves, Jordan and Yasmin, and Jordan's opening up about being in the army, and he gets very emotional about that. And again, her response is so perfect. They're both so good at creating a warm, loving, safe space for each other, an environment to be able to open up. Like, I'm really rooting for these two. They may be obviously, taking my bias of my best friend on the show out of it, they may be my favorite couple on the show. And I don't know, call it parasocial, because I see elements in their early stages and certain conversations that remind me, and characteristics that remind me of me and my boyfriend. Even when she says, what does she say? I've never had someone be so intentional with me, like, and she's crying. I cried with her. I felt that. Like, I truly felt that. And when you experience that, it's a feeling like no other, let me tell you. There's nothing like it. We then see Cuba and Ryan on their dates, and they're bonding over, organic and nature and spiritual lifestyle. And she's talking about, she wants to, did she say buy organic eggs or have chickens in her garden to have organic eggs in the house? And he's like, yeah, no, I know a person that plays frequency music to the eggs to make them better. Yeah, good for them. We're back in the women's quarter. We see Kira apologizing for, blurting out everything she did before, but then goes on to say even more things that will put more doubt in Faye's head. I'm like, we've seen a contestant like Kira before. And then we see Faye and Jack in the, in the pods. They're on a date, and he's like, how are you? Still have your red nails? And she's like, I don't have red nails. That's Kira. And I'm like, oh God, Jack, no. This is not the time to make things worse. In his defense, they're dating multiple people. I feel like you're going to get a few things mixed up. No, I feel like other people may have, and we're just not seeing it. Could be me, I don't know. But yeah, they manage to talk things through, and he reassures her. And they're so sweet. They truly do seem meant for each other. But watching this, I'm like, do I have like love goggles on? And because I'm now in a relationship, am I just rooting for everyone? And so I see that they seem compatible, or are they actually compatible? Comment below what you guys think of these couples so far. So we see Chevanique and Joseph on a date, and she says, he says he wants to like get more vulnerable, like get on. They've had their fun, they've had their flirt. Let's like get more deep, essentially. And she gets emotional, talking about how she struggles to open up. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember if this was in the pod or what she says in a like interview to camera, but it's like, will they accept her for her, essentially? And yeah, I'm proud of Joseph. He creates an amazing safe space for her. He's very reassuring, very comforting of her. Like that is just the guy that he is. That's the friend that I know. He's like that with all his friends as well. And even just his response to her, his words he spoke, I don't know if she'd say this, but if you're hearing it, it'd feel like a hug almost, because they can't see each other, but the words not only provided like reassurance and words of affirmation, but the words almost kind of covered that physical touch barrier as well, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I should have just left it at his words were like a hug. Anyway, proud of the man you are, Joseph. That was a beautiful moment to witness. And then we go on to Jordan and Yasmin. Jordan proposes to Yasmin. I am a pile of tears on the floor. I officially have a parasocial relationship with this couple. They are my favorite. Sue me. So then we see, I want to know your thoughts on this. Kira, saying, she needs these expensive dates, and when they go out, he needs to pick up the bill because, she spent 3 hours getting ready and so much on her outfit. I've never been of that thought process, and I've got into like many debates with like family and friends about this, because it's this whole thing of, a guy should pay on the first date. Like, if he wants to, great. I don't believe that. I feel like it's an equal exchange. No matter, yes, I may have spent 3 hours getting ready, but he could have also spent a long time getting ready. You spent a lot on your outfit. He could have spent a lot on his outfit. Like, we are both stepping out of our schedules to get to know each other. So if I ended up having to go halves with someone on a first date, I would still see them again if we got on. And I feel like part of the reason that girls may want a guy to pay on the first date, not just because they want them, but so they can boast to their friends about it. Do you know what I mean? But comment below your thoughts on the whole guy paying on a first date. I've never been someone that needs that. Have I got it many a time? Yes. I'm trying to think. First date with my boyfriend. Where did we go? Okay, yeah, he paid for a lot of it. But had he not, I'd still see him on the second date, and I did see him on the next day. Anyway, story for another day. All of that aside, like, you know, people may think she's a gold digger, all of this. We do see them, AJ and Kira, share an emotional moment where he opens up, like, one of his biggest regrets, one of his friends passing, and he felt like their last moments together, he felt like he could have done more, but he didn't know his friend was going to pass away. And Kira even says, like, you shouldn't blame yourself for this. She does, again, as well, also create a really nice environment, like warm, loving environment in that moment. And you can see she has genuine, true care for him. Like, you can say a lot about her other characteristics, but looking at their relationship in that moment, she truly has a lot of care for AJ, I'd say. Then we see Yasmin and Jordan's reveal. So cute again, cheesing all the way through. You can see they're like genuinely attracted to each other. Like, they're very excited to see each other. It was really nice. I really, really, really loved their meeting. What did you guys think of? Comment below of all the reveals, like what you thought. So we see Francesca and Joseph on their date. She's like, hey babe. He's like, what did you call me? Joseph, enough. But yeah, you can see he's really excited that, you know, she's using terms of endearment with him. She lets him know he's the only person she's getting to know. Like, she's really putting him first and choosing him. And he says to her, I really like you. And he hasn't said that to anyone else. So that was a sweet moment between the two of them. We then see Cuba and Ryan talking about, like, Ryan opening up about his dad taking his life and how that affected him moving forward. When he was living with his brother, he was hyper aware of certain things, like if he's too quiet, listening in on the door and stuff. And I'm glad he had that conversation with her. I'm glad it was on TV, because I have known someone close to me. I'll just say this. I know that feeling of being hyper aware in certain situations, and it's a lot on you. So that was a beautiful moment that they shared. Again, Cuba created a safe environment for him in that. AJ proposes to Kira. We see their reveal. Listen, like I said before, say what you want about Kira. Her and AJ actually do seem well suited together. They do. Like, they make sense. So Joseph is on a date with Chevanique. He says Francesca is his number one or his main priority. She says yesterday felt so special when she opened up and they shared a moment. And it was. And as much as that was a nice moment, seeing how he was there for her, did she also create an environment for him to feel like he can be vulnerable? Or was it just him being there for her? Because Joseph is someone that is there for so many people. So one thing I would want in his partner is someone that gives that to him as well. And I didn't see that in that moment, I will say. Nonetheless, Chevanique is fighting for her man. Like I said, she's good with those one-liners. She is just... And she's putting doubt in his head. And he's like, no, Francesca's my priority. But she is not going down without a fight. She's even bringing God into this. She knows how much that man loves God. Like, she's not going down without a fight. Can't be mad at it. But yes, that is the end of episode 3. Guys, still the concept of me reviewing this, and my friend Joseph is in this, crazy. I hope you guys did enjoy this review. Episode 1-3. I'm warming up. I'm getting back into it. Come back. I think later on today, to be fair, I'll be posting episodes 4, 5, and 6. So 4 to 6. and then tomorrow I'll do 7 and 8. So by tomorrow, hopefully it's given you guys enough time. I didn't want to just put it all out in one go because I know episodes 1 to 8 are out, but that's the schedule. And then next week we will have episodes 9 and 10. And who knows, maybe I'll get Joseph back on this channel. We'll have a chat as well. But as until then, guys, I hope you did enjoy this review. Subscribe if you haven't already. More reviews to come, more tea to come. I have, like I said, I've got a bit of inside information here and there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. As always, thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, people that have been here for ages. Love you, appreciate you, all the new people. Come on in. It's a good time over here. See you later on today.